Hi everyone, it's Øyvind Martinsen here. In this video we're gonna do some more Adobe Lightroom development and for the documentary section. We have an image here. It's a concrete worker from a block fabric in Panama, and we can take a look at the settings I used first. I used 1/8 of a second. I use aperture f10. I use 18mm focal length and ISO 200. Everything is up here. And I also used a flash and I set it on rear curtain sync. Then the flash goes off at the end of the exposure, not in the beginning. So in this image I used 1/8 of a second and the flash went off at the end of that exposure time. And when I took the image, I panned the worker, so I followed him with my camera, and then I get him a little bit more sharp, and the rest is blurry. And in addition, the flash will add extra distinction to the sharpness by flashing at the end of the exposure. So you can see both on the worker and on the machine here, a little bit sharpness. Without the flash it would be more blurry. So it's a good combination to use the rear curtain sync settings on the flash. And I used aperture priority here, so the flashlight is only filling in. So it's daylight here and the flash is filling in the daylight. Let's start with some development. We can start with the clarity. We can make it a little bit more crispy because clarity sharpens the medium tones. We can increase the vibrance, which boosts up colors that are not so present. It gives the image a better color vibrance. Now it's already better. We can check the white balance. If we want it warmer or colder. I like a balance here. I think I can find a balance between warm and cold tones. Then we have a good contrast in tones. Yes, I think we have it here. And I can increase the contrast a little bit, the general contrast. Not too much. See, this is too much. It looks strange. I want to keep it a little bit soft, but I want the worker to be a little bit sharp. There. Yes. I like it. An image like this don't need so much sharpening, so it does not need to be sharpened. But if you do, so you can do it, but you really don't need that because it's a little bit blurry. But let's say we just add a little bit, maybe up to 40, and then we have a better image. Let's see what we can do now with the vignette, and we go down to effects. And then we drag the vignette to the left to darken the edges of the frame. Look here, this is the area. So I'm gonna frame in him a little bit here. There. Yes. You see the difference? This was the start. And we went down to here, up about here. Yeah. Yes, I think we're there. So use this technique for documentary or wildlife, things who are moving. Set the flash on rear curtain sync and you get a very interesting effect. We have also been through this technique in the earlier weeks. Let's see here. The next image is from the same factory, another worker who is working with mixing sand and cement, and here I used creative use of shadows. So we see his shadow here. It's early in the morning, so the sun is low at the horizon, and you can see his shadow here. So it's very important to be early or late in the evening to take these kind of images with shadows on the walls, so it can add to the composition. Let's start. You can start with the clarity here. Up there, vibrance. Go up. Yeah, we can go to 45. And we add some contrast. I think I want to cool down the color temperature a little bit. You see here he's maybe a little bit too warm, too orange. So I want to drag it a little bit to the left. See there. Now it's more normal. And at the same time I get a better blue tone on the sky here. And let's go down, we can sharpen it up to 58. Oops, 58, 1.1, and we do the masking. We press the Option or the Alt button on the keyboard, drag the slider, and normally up to around 40. And the dark areas are areas where it will not be sharpened. Very good. And in this case I want to go up to the HSL tool here. You see we have the blue sky. I want to darken the blue a little bit. So I go to the luminance and the blue. I drag the luminance to the left, then the blue goes darker. See here, this is fake. But if we look at just a little bit, tone a little bit more down. This is more and much better. A little bit on the saturation on the blue. So this is too much. Just a tint of extra blue there. So we're already in a better place than we were. And let's see what else we can do here. You see the sand here. He's throwing the sand and the cement. I want to use the brush here to lighten it a little bit up. So I go up to the brush tool and click on it. The menu opens and here we have the size of the ring, and here's the exposure adjustment. I'm in plus 0.20 and I can start painting. I want a little bit smaller brush. I do that by scrolling on the mouse. You can also use this slider, you learn that now. Go out here, start moving the brush over the area I talked about here. Then we can post adjust here. And look here, maybe a little bit up there. We have better contrast here in this area. So that was a quick development. The image is much better here. As you see, it's a high contrast image, a lot of light and shadows. And I think that's fine in this image. I don't want to do any shadow lifting here like this, because you see the image lose the contrast. I like this, good hard lines between light and shadows here. Then the shadow here on the wall will be much stronger too. So this is an image where that didn't need so much development. We go to the next. More documentary from Panama. And here's a family. They have pigs as a part of the household, and they have dogs, and it's a lot of energy in this image where some of the pigs want to run away, and they try to hold them in, have them in control here. So let's go. We can see here my settings: 1/800 of a second, aperture f10. I used a 24mm lens. That was the 24 to 70 millimeter zoom at 24 millimeter. I use ISO 1600 to be able to have this aperture and at the same time have a fast shutter speed, because things happen fast here. Let's go to the clarity. Go take it up to 25. We take up the vibrance to 45. We're going to do a little bit warmer tone in the image. See here, it's much better already. We're going to lift the shadows, lighten the shadows here. We're going to take up the exposure a little bit. Now it's coming in. Going to increase the general contrast. Still a little bit cool tone, so I want to adjust more. I want warmer tone, and I drag the color temperature here to the right. Yeah, I think we are here now. This is more how I remember the scene. And let's continue. We can go down to sharpening, and sharpening is under detail. Go up to 58, 1.1. We do the masking, normally around 40. Here we go. We can go to the vignette, a little bit darker at the edges here, and I think we still need to adjust a few things. I'm gonna go for the green first. I'm gonna lift the green a little bit up. I think it's a little bit dull, so go for luminance, green, and see here I can adjust. You see I get a better depth in the image when I increased it, because this area also will be a little bit lighter, and then we get a better depth in the image. See here, we get it up. And then we can adjust a little bit on the saturation on the green. See, this is too much, but maybe there. And I want to go in here and light up what's happening here a little bit. So I'm going to go for the brush tool, and I'm going to go for this, and exposure a little bit up, and we can do more adjustment later. Let me see. We'll paint first. The dog. A little bit here on pigs. And on the father. Let's see what we can do now with the more adjustment. Lift it a little bit up. There. Now our eyes is more into this line here, because it's a little bit lighter, and we have a better view of what's going on. Yeah, I think we're there. So this is as I took the image. You see, none of these images you have seen so far in this video is cropped. So normally I try to compose as I want to have it, and so I don't have to crop it later. So then I can print the larger images and have a larger file, and it also sharpen me, and I do better compositions when I have this philosophy, because I am more aware of what I want, and I compose I want it right there. So it takes a lot of practice to get there, but It's a good training to always try to do your images without cropping. Let's do the next. And the same family, and there's always a day where they have to slaughter one of their animals. And here they started at 3 o'clock in the morning at night time, and because of the heat in the day, so they started at 3 o'clock and ended at 7 o'clock in the morning. So now this pig, whose name was Pancho, is now dead, and they are removing now the hair from the skin by pouring hot water over the skin, and they use knives to shave away all the hair. So let's go to work. We go to clarity, we go to vibrance up to 45. We're gonna do contrast, lift it up. Also going to do lift it up on the exposure. Stop there, lift it there. I'm going to fine tune these two guys here with the brush later. Let's see, the color temperature is not so bad. Maybe a little bit warmer. There. And go to sharpening. To 58, and the masking up to around 40, and the dark areas will not be sharpened. And now I will go into the details. I want to go and work on him and him with the brush to lift the exposure a little bit up. So I go here, the brush tool, I paint over. See, already better. Do go down here and here. Now can adjust more here. You see, now it's coming out, and he's more balanced. This light and this light is now better. So I used a flash here, and we're gonna do the same on him over here. So now I did this adjustment on him. I go for a new here, new brush, click, and the other one shuts down. If I want to reopen this brush, I can click on it again. So, but I go for the new, see it closed down. And I take him over here, just fine tuning in the tones here, lift the exposure, maybe there. Then we close it, and we do one more check, lift it up on the contrast, lift it up on saturation. There, I think we're there. And you see the steam here, we can lift that, lift it up with the brush tool if you want a better contrast. Just lift it up. See here. Now it's better. Yeah. We press the L button on the keyboard 2 times, and we darkens the area around the image. Not so bad. And I press the L button 1 more time, I go back to normal. And we take the next image, and in the jungle of Panama, this is a way to be transported around, so in and out of the jungle. So this boat serves as a bus, and we go up and down this river. So I'm gonna do this image really want some color saturation and better contrast. So we're going to start with first the clarity and the vibrance. Go up to 45. A little bit up on the saturation. We're going to increase the contrast, but I want warmer tones, so I go up to color temperature and I drag it a little bit to the right. So here we have warmer tones. There, not too much, not like this. It's too warm. You have to have a balance, not like this, too cold. So you need to find that balance. And if you want to go back to the start, you can just double click on the slider here. This is the starting point. You can fine tune the balance, leap it up. There. I think here we have a good contrast between a little bit cooler tones and warm tones. Let's sharpen it. We go to 58. 1 and the masking. Drag up to around 40. Here we're going to do a little bit vignette under effects. Darken the edges a little bit. Not much there. I think we are getting closer to this one. A little bit up on the contrast. And I'm going to lift the shadows. Lift it up. See here? There we go. I think it's fine. Everyday life in Panama. And here is an Ember Indian Boy, and he's quietly asleep, very peaceful in a hammock in the Indian village. And we can start working on him. We go for the clarity first, take the vibrance up. Oh, this picture needs saturation. Flip it up. Okay, now it's coming in, and we're gonna go for more warmth. A little bit to the right with the color temperature, but not too much. There we go. A little bit contrast. So we have, let's see the colors. I think we're gonna bring out the colors a little bit more, some, but not all of them. I want blue and maybe red and orange. No, only red and blue, and maybe the purple here, and the green we can take up a little bit. We go down to the saturation down here in the HSL. HSL is hue, saturation and luminance. So we go a little bit up on the green and up on the red. See, this is the red tone. Not too much. I don't want to do orange, I see here, because then his skin will be too orange. Look here, it's not good. And I want to do the blue, a little bit up on the blue. And I want to darken the blue a little bit. Now we have better contrast too. I'm going to sharpen. And do the radius and the masking. See the masking here. The dark areas will not be sharpened, because it's blank surfaces or dark surfaces and they don't need sharpening. And I want to do some vignette here. Go to left with this, you see here. Darken the edges a little bit. Then the viewer stays in here. I want to do a little bit with the brush up here, darken this, and a little bit down here. So go to the brush tool. Now I take the exposure to minus, maybe there, and just darken this one a little bit. And here, a little bit here. And he's still asleep. Much better. Let's go to next. Here's a man with a sugar cane and his machine here where he pressed the juice out of the sugar canes, and this is in Panama too, and out of that juice he produced a sugar cake called raspadura, and it is used as additive in juice, or you can eat it directly, or you can put it in a mug of water and you will have a nice sweet juice. So they say it's also good for cleansing your kidneys, and it tastes very good. So I normally purchase sugar, these raspadura cakes from him. So we use them in our house. So this is early in the morning. He has been out cutting down the sugar canes for this day production of raspaduras, and he started early because it's better to work when it's not so hot. And he used a horse to drag this machine, and then he put the sugar canes into this machine, and the juice comes out here into this tank, the blue tank. But let's start on top here. You see here I used ISO 800, I used my 18mm lens, and I used f8, and I used 125th of a second. And I can see right away this needs a warmer tone, so I drag the temperature to the right here. Much better already. And we can go to the clarity, and we can go to the vibrance to 45. And here I see I can make this image better or different by lifting the shadows a little bit up. See here, not too much. This is too much the other way, but here I think we are better there. And a little bit up on the saturation, not much there. Yeah, I think we are there. And then go down to the sharpening, to the 58 and the 1.1, the masking. Press the Option or the Alt button on the keyboard, drag to the right. There we go. In this image I don't want to do some vignette, but I want to fine-tune a few things. I want to lift his face a little bit up, maybe his shirt here too. So I go to the brush tool and I go the exposure a little bit in plus, not much, and adjust the size of the ring by scrolling on the mouse here, and you can start paint his face, the shirt, trousers, and the rubber boots. We can fine-tune it here, a bit more up. Then I'm gonna increase the contrast a little bit, just on him. not so much, 3. And a little bit up on the shadows, 2. Close. And you see here it's a little bit blurry here on the sugar canes. That's because I took the image when he dropped off the sugar canes from his shoulder, and at 125th of a second this motion created this blurriness. So it's important that you time when you press the shutter to get this extra nerve in the image and the motion you have in the sugar canes when they fall down from his shoulder. So I think we're done with this one. Press the L 2 times. Then we can see here we have a final image we can use for an article or sell as a stock image or for other use. I press the L one more time at the keyboard and go back to normal, and we go to the next. And here he is, the same man. He's now boiling the sugarcane juice, and here I was inside under this roof, and I used 3 flash units to light up the situation in here, because it was a very high contrast between the sunlit landscape outside here and the shadows on the inside here under the roof. So I had to use flash to compensate and to balance the light between what's in here in the shadows and what's out there. So what I did here, I set it on manual mode, a light meter in manual mode, and I set f8, ISO 400, and 1/320th of a second, and that I measured the light on what was here on the outside, and then the flash filled in the needed light here on the inside. So I measured the light manually on the outside, and the flash filled in the rest here in the dark area in the shadows under the roof, and it looks like it's maybe sunlit steam here, but it's 3 flash units. I used a wireless release on them, so all 3 flash units flashed at the same time. So it's a good technique to fill in flash in different contrast situations like this one. Let's go to work. I start with the clarity, drag it up to 25, and the vibrance up to 45. And I check the color temperature a little bit warmer, I think, a little bit up. Yeah, I think there. And we're gonna do the contrast. So this image deserves better contrast because of the steam. We want it to pop out. I'm gonna lift the shadows a little bit up. See here. Already better. And we go down to the sharpening. 58, 1.1, and masking. Go for the option button. And then up to 41 or 40. So the dark areas will not be sharpened. And you can also now go in and fine-tune some things here. I want to lift him a little bit up, a little bit lighter, so it comes better in the image, into the image here, with a little bit lighter tones. His hand here and the shirt. Can increase the size of the brush. That will work faster. Down here on trousers. See, now we can fine tune here the exposure, and it comes in much better. Yes, there we have him. much better. You can, if you like, increase the contrast a little bit, lift the shadows a little bit. Now we are just working in that area. Good. And we want to do a new one. I want to lift the steam here a little bit up, just this value. Just paint over the steam a little bit on this. Maybe adjust highlights only, a little bit up. You see here, this is maybe too much, but you can fine tune the contrast by using the highlight. And I think we are here. Good. Close it. And let's take a look. You can press the L button 2 times. And now we have a ready image to be used. Let's go to the next. Press the L one more time. You go back to normal. And we go to more documentary. And here is photo of a here it's normally a lake. Even in the rainy season this lake was dry, and that is not normal, so probably because of climate change and changes in the weather systems. And there is hope because there is rain coming in, and hopefully it will fill up the lake again. I think a lot of wildlife had to move because this lake was dry, and it's in Panama, and there are a lot of birds, crocodiles, and in this lake also a fish called macanas, and I wonder how and if they survived. So birds can always fly away, but fish cannot. So, but let's see what we can do with the settings. Here I used ISO 200 18mm lens at f14 and 1/13 of a second. I used a tripod, and this is a good contrast here between, here is the key here and the boat. And normally there is water here, so they can just take the boat and go out on the lake. But let's start. We go for the clarity up to around 25. Increase the vibrance to 45. We get better colors. I'm going to lift the exposure a little bit up first. Then I will increase the contrasts there and lift the shadows a little bit, not much. Go to the sharpening down here. (58) and the masking. Press the option button. Normally up to 40. There we go. Now it's much better already. And I can also, in this image, use the profile correction, the lens correction. So I enable profile correction, and you see then I lose the vignette that the Carl Zeiss lens has. But you see the horizon will be more straight because a wide angle lens has a curved horizon. It's not always so easy to see, but you see it now. The horizon will be straightened up. It's optical deviations. And I can click on the remove chromatic aberration. And we remember chromatic aberration is color lines that can appear between the mountains and the sky, for example, or here between the wood and the sky. It can be red, yellow, green, color lines. So by just clicking on this, we remove them. I also remove the vignette that the lens has, but I want it back. So I just go here to profile, I do the vignette here, and I have it back. Maybe a little bit up there. It's good. We are getting closer. Now we have more drama. We have the dark skies coming in with rain. We have the dry lake and the boat who desperately need water. So it's a dramatic situation in many ways, with the climate change and the drought and the approaching rain. So let's go for the brush. I'm gonna lift the boat a little bit up. Also a little bit here. A little bit here. The green. Adjust a little bit there. Then we have a better contrast. So, I think we're there. This can be a good documentary image to document climate change. And we press the L button 2 times and we darken the area around. It's better to take a real good view on the image. Yes. Let's go to the next. And here is in Panama on the Pacific coast. And here is my wife Sisa. She's snorkeling. And this could be an image you could use for documentary or travel articles. So let's go to work. So you can see the settings. It was ISO 320. I used my 24 to 70 millimeter zoom at 27 millimeter. I use f16 because I want the depth of field from here to the islands here. It's a very beautiful area and a very nice place to take pictures, both underwater and above water. And this is in Cowboy Island National Park, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its unique biodiversity. So we have photo tours out there. Let's go. Clarity up to around 25. Vibrance, look at the blue, and the colors are coming in now. Up to there, 45. Need some more contrast. Yes, very good. And here we can go down to sharpening right away. We do the masking. A little bit more there to 40. And we can do the profile correction and the chromatic aberration correction, but I want my vignette back. Go there and I take it in. I see the horizon is not completely straight, so I want to go to the crop overlay tool here to adjust. It's not so much, but a little bit. And here I want to go to the, you can use the slider, you can use this angle tool, as we have been through before. But in this case I want to use the numbers, because I don't need much. So just press the arrows on the keyboard, up or down, and I can fine tune the horizon. And you see these grids, they appear when you start using, I think there. Not so much you see here, only minus 0.50. Yep, much better. And here we have an image. We have blue, we have green, we have aqua colors, and let's fine-tune them a little bit. So I go to saturation here in the HSL section. Go to saturation. I'm going to start with the aqua color. Let's see here. This is too much. This is too little. I'm going to take it up a little bit. And we're going to take the green, a little bit up. And I think the blue is fine. We don't want too much. So I think we have an image. So let's press the L 2 times and we have a final image. And here we have an image of a cowboy trying to catch a young calf running away. And this is in the Herrera province in Panama. And we can start here right away with the color temperature, because I see this needs a little bit warmer tones. Lift it up. There we go. We'll also increase the contrast. We're going to lift the exposure a little bit up. And we're going to increase the clarity. We're going to do vibrance. Now we already have a much better image. And we're going to lift up the shadows, maybe one, not more. And then we go to the sharpening and to 58. And we'll do the masking. We know masking now. We normally end up around 40. And we also want some vignette on this, so I go down to effects. And I want to darken the edges a little bit. Keep the viewer inside this area. We're going to go back up here and add a little bit saturation, not much. Slightly up. There. Nice. Press the L button 2 times. And here we have another image ready for the market. Let's go to the next. Here we have a landscape with this cattle in the foreground. We have the flowering trees in the background, beautiful hill, and we are in Panama, and we want to do the development. First I will warm out the color temperature, drag it a little bit to the right. I want to take down the exposure a little bit darker. I want to increase the general contrast. I want to take up the clarity. Here I want to take up the vibrance up to there. See, now already a much better image. A little bit up on the saturation. Yes. And I can also, you see the head of that cow is coming in here. And the image is a little bit unbalanced. So I want to balance it by cropping it a little bit. I go up here to the crop tool. So I just take this corner and drag it slightly down. Now, not much, but a little bit. See, it's a stronger picture. And let's continue. We go down to the sharpening. To 58 there, and the radius 1.1. The masking. Now we see the sky will not be sharpened because you don't need sharpening there. Also the blank surfaces on the cattle there will not be sharpened. Now I want to darken the sky a little bit to get a better contrast against the sunlit forest there. So I go to the built-in graduated neutral density filter, it's here, and I click on it, and I click here and drag downwards, not much but a little bit there, and I can, this is the area I'm working now, but I don't want to do so much, just a little bit darker tones. I think we are there, yeah, that's good. Close that one, and I want to darken this area in front here a little bit to make the cattle pop out better. So I take the brush and I paint, and I'm in minus exposure here now, not so much but a little bit, and I can just paint here in the foreground, and I can fine-tune it a little bit down there. I think that's it. Now let's take a look at the colors. We have a lot of green, we have the purple and magenta. So I think we're gonna go to the HSL and fine-tune the colors. I want to darken the flowering trees here. So I go to the purple and I darken the light on that color. See, it's coming more in. And the same with the magenta, a little bit down. Then we go to the saturation and we take purple a little bit up, and the magenta a little bit more on the light, on the purple. I think there. Now we have a better tone in that color. And we can also add a little bit green. So this is the green area. So not so much, but a little bit up. Yes. I think we have a final image. Much better. And remember, you have to develop a raw file, so it's incomplete when you upload it into Adobe Lightroom. Let's press L 2 times on the keyboard and we can view the final image. I like it, but I want to do one more adjustment, and that is to take down the exposure a little bit more. There. Yep. Much better. See it one more time. Here. So, thank you for being with me in this video, and I'll see you soon in the next.